Hey guys, it's Vicky, and today I'm here to share with you a book review, and that book is The Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime by Mark Haddon. And this book is basically about a teenage boy named Christopher who has autism, and one night a neighborhood dog named Wellington is murdered. And I say murdered because he was literally forked with a garden fork in the side, so he was killed pretty brutally. And Christopher makes it kind of his mission to solve what happened to Wellington, find out who did this to him. And along the way of trying to solve this murder, he discovers a lot about himself, and so it kind of goes from there. I don't want to say much more because I don't want to give anything away, but the book is really good because Christopher is an unconventional narrator. Because of his autism, he sees the world in a completely different way than most people. In many instances, he sees the world more vividly. So it just makes for a very interesting character, and his narrative is very interesting. He is totally into math and science. He hates the color yellow, has like a love-hate relationship with Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's work. And he is very honest and literal. He has a hard time picking up on social cues, especially like figures of speech. He just can't like wrap his head around that because he takes things so literally. And like sarcasm and stuff like that, he has a hard time picking up on. And it's something that he's working through throughout the novel. It's definitely in the beginning a book about what happened to Wellington, but it quickly becomes more about Christopher and his viewpoint of the world, how he processes things, how he reacts to things that happen to him. And I think that Mark Haddon did a really good job of putting you in that place with Christopher where you can kind of see things the way that he sees them. For example, there's a scene in the book where he's in a train station, and for most people, even though there's a lot of hustle and bustle going on, there's a lot of noise, there's a lot of people, there's signs everywhere, there's just all kinds of stuff going on, most people can just walk through the train station and kind of get to where they're going, you know, and kind of like eye on the prize, focus kind of thing. And Christopher is unable to do that, and it's because his brain is just wants to take in everything around him. He wants to read every sign. He wants to hear every noise. He wants to, you know, look at every person, and it's like his brain just goes into sensory overload, and then it just becomes muddled. Like he literally, some of the signs hanging up become just gibberish. Like he can't process what they say because his brain wants to process everything at the same time. I thought that scene in particular is very, very powerful, and really gave a good example of what Christopher goes through on a daily basis in doing ordinary things. So I think that that definitely is the crux of the book and what really drives the book. Although you do find out what happened to Wellington. The mystery does get solved, so you're not kind of left in the dark about that. And I think that overall, it was just a really good book. There are parts in it that are sad, where you really feel bad for Christopher and sympathize with him, but I think you leave the book feeling really optimistic and uplifted because that's kind of where Christopher is at the end of the book. He has kind of a newfound confidence and just this new sense of worth because of the things that he goes through in investigating the death of Wellington. It just is in some ways a coming of age kind of thing for him. So you leave the story feeling good and feeling good about Christopher and that he's, you know, he's going to be all right. So overall, like I said, I really enjoyed this book. I think that for me, I don't know anyone personally with autism, and I know very little about this subject really, other than like things that I've read in like magazine articles and things. So it was really nice to read a book that helps to give you perspective on something like that. At least one version of what it's like to have autism. And so for that, I really appreciated it and really enjoyed it. So I ended up giving it 4 out of 5 stars, and I would definitely recommend it to anyone that, like I said, likes unconventional narrators where they're kind of quirky, and it had a pretty good plot, like I said, but it mostly is about the character. So if that's your thing, I think you would really like this book, and you should check it out. So please let me know if you have read this book and what you thought of it, because I would love to hear other people's comments and thoughts on it. So please feel free to comment below and let me know what you thought. And other than that, that is all I have for today, guys. I hope that you are having a wonderful week, and I want to thank you for watching, and I will talk to you soon.